Hi everyone, my name's Ian Williams and I'm the creator and developer of Goblin Harvest, the mighty quest, and this is the quick start video. When you start the game for the first time, you'll find that the game tutorial is turned on by default. I've switched it off for this video, but I'd suggest you leave it on for your first game. To start a new game, we click the New Game button. And we come to the game options screen. For your first game, I'd strongly suggest you leave everything as it is. Above the cancel and play buttons, you'll see that the calculated difficulty is easiest, and that's what you want for your first game. You can change the champion gender, of course. That makes no difference to difficulty. At the beginning of the game you get to read chapter 1 of the Tale of the Goblin Wars. I won't go through it now, but I suggest you do read it, especially the notes at the bottom that explain that in this game you play two characters, the king and his champion. And here we are in the game. This map has been procedurally generated, along with all the characters, enemies and items. We start on the map screen, where you play the strategy part of the game. You can left click and drag to move the map around. The mouse wheel zooms in and out, and there are some map controls here on the left as well. You can also move around the map with WASD or the arrow keys, and you can zoom with Z and X. In this game there are 3 towns. Here we are, and each town has an army in it. You can see the armies there, they're the red shields. At the top of the map you can see the Goblin army ready to move down and invade your kingdom, and right at the bottom is the citadel, your capital. If the goblins take your citadel, it's game over. You move your armies by playing cards. Here's your hand, these 5 cards here. Most cards show a type of terrain, so you can see hills here, farmland. And your armies can only move onto squares for which you have a corresponding card. So I'll select an army by clicking on it, and you can see there are now arrows around it, and these show you where you can move. So I can move here onto the hills because I have a hills card in my hand. To move an army, I click on the arrow and hey presto, easy. Notice that a hills card has been removed from my hand. And if you use as many cards as your hand size in your turn, so it's 5 in this case, you get a free move. Because we've got a scout here, we've also got some gold arrows. Gold arrows show squares for which we need to use the scout. Scout's a wild card, really. You can always move into a town or the citadel without a card, and that's denoted by a blue arrow. To destroy the goblin units up here, you just need to move your army onto them. But bear in mind the goblins can do the same to your armies. If a goblin unit moves onto your army, it'll destroy it. You can discard cards from your hand by clicking on them. And that's it, really. Pretty simple. So each turn or each day you need to be moving your armies to attack the goblins and defend your towns. And also every turn you need to think about the quest part of the game. And to get to the quest screen, you click the quest button. This is the screen where you control the king's champion, although you'll notice at the beginning that you're not the king's champion, you're just a serf working in the stables of the citadel. And here we are in the stables. This is an RPG adventure, so you'll see you also have stats over here. Health shows how much damage you can take, and 0 health would be a very bad thing. Strength shows you how much you can carry. Every item in the game has a weight, so there's a limit to how much you can carry at once. And experience, of course. As your experience increases, you'll level up and you'll be able to use better weapons and spells. On the quest screen, you can move around and interact with items and characters by clicking on action words. These are words that are either a different colour from the rest of the text, or they're underlined, and they also change colour when you hover over them. So let's see what happens if I click on the stable master. Here he is. Well, he's telling me off. You can see that in the output box at the bottom. He's also offering to tell me a tale for a price. Tales are important in this game as they're the way you find out where hidden places are, and that's the only way you'll be able to complete the mighty quest. It's important to remember that you can't win this game militarily. No matter how many waves of goblins you destroy, they're just gonna keep coming. The only way to win the game is to complete the quest. At the beginning, of course, you won't know what the quest is, so you need to go and explore. Let's ignore the stable master for now. Maybe we'll come back later and hear his tale and walk out of the stables. You can see in the location description that there's a door leading to the merchant's quarter. Let's go there. And we move to a new location. Here you'll see more doors and a non-player character, the city watchman. It's an NPC. Let's go into a shop, the general stores, or general supplies. There are lots of things for sale here. If we click on one, we'll click on the leg of lamb. Okay. You can see there's a price. Now if I leave that a moment, and I'll show you up here at the top of the screen, you can see we've got 10 gold. You can get more gold in various ways. You can kill goblins with your armies, defeat enemies, and you can also get gold through taxes. Every day you get 1 gold for each town in the kingdom. Anyway, so looking back at this leg of lamb, I think it's overpriced, so I'm going to leave it. I also don't have enough gold. To manipulate items in your inventory, you choose an action here. There's examine, drop, use, consume, and sell, and then click on the item. So we have examine highlighted at the moment. So if I click on journal, you'll see in the output you can see a description of the journal. It says here, hint, use it to read it. So if I change my action to use and click on it again, here I am. I'm reading my journal. Now there's only 1 entry at the moment, but more get added as you continue your adventure. When you pay to hear tales, for example, they're automatically added to the journal, but only if you have it with you. Click to come out of that, and now we're going to fast forward a little bit. Okay, here we are then, 1 turn later, and the King's Champion has left the Citadel to begin his quest. You'll see we're in quiet farmland, so that's nice. You're always safe from enemy characters in farmland. In the location description you can see we can travel north, south, east or west. Travelling takes time depending on the type of terrain we're moving into. So for example, it usually takes 2 hours to travel into a farmland region, but 8 hours to enter a mountains region. So if I hover over this direction word here, east, which is the way to the pleasant farmland, as you can see here on the local map, it tells me that would take 2 hours. So I'm feeling brave, so I'm going to go north to the haunted forest, which will take 6 hours. Let's do that. Right, here we are in a haunted forest. Seems pretty safe. There's a friendly character here, a woodcutter, and we could talk to him. We could also explore this region. The great thing about exploring is that you can find hidden places and things, plus, and this is really cool, you get a card to add to the deck. Let's do that. We just click on the word explore in the location description, and we're being told, okay, if you explore this this square you'll get a forest card, so I'm going to say yep. I'm going to put this forest card in my hand. You can also put it into the draw pile or the discard pile. I'm going to go put it into my hand. For exploring a region you always gain 1 experience point as well, which is handy. If we flip over to the map screen now, you can see that sure enough I have an extra forest card in my hand. And that's really useful. I can use that for moving my my armies. it's later on in the day now. I'd like to move north again to the mountains, but there isn't time today. That will take 8 hours and there are only 3 hours left. Now when you finish moving your armies and your champion, you end your turn by clicking the Make Camp button down here on the right, at which point night falls and the goblins march. Now I'll flip over to the map screen and I'll mark this new card we got for discard, so it'll go into the discard pile. I have to do this before ending my turn, as you're not allowed to have more cards than your hand size when you end your turn. After that I click Make Camp and watch the goblins, they'll start moving. Now the goblins always move in a predictable manner. If they can, they'll move down the map 1 square per turn. However, if they find themselves on the same row as an unconquered town, they'll move inwards towards it in a sort of pincer movement. There's one other little rule around Goblin Harvests which affect how they move, but I won't cover that here. Otherwise that's it for how goblins move. Back to the quest screen, and it's a new day. The rising sun pierces the gloom of the haunted forest. It says down here, so as it's a new day, I've got 12 hours to spend again, so I can go north to the mountains. Here goes. And uh-oh, there's an enemy here. There's a giant mouse. That's bad news. Enemies won't let you pass by them, so if I try to go north again, I'm told it won't let you pass. You can choose to fight it or to back off. You can retreat, so I could go back down south. I don't want to do that. You can bribe some of them, but unfortunately you can't bribe a giant mouse. If you can't bribe them, you can always fight them. So to do that, we could click on the mouse to examine it and then choose to fight it. Let's do that. Go! And here we are on the combat screen. Combat is based on a variant of rock, paper, scissors. You've got hack, slash and lunge instead. Plus, as you can see, there's a flee option. And in the interest of keeping this video quite short, I'm going to flee if I can. It's a 50-50 chance each turn, and if I fail, I will get hurt. So let's see how we do. No, I didn't get away that time. No, not again. And I escaped this time. That was good. I got away. You'll see it down here in the output that an Old Wounds card has been added to the discard pile. Old Wounds are just pointless and useless cards that just get in the way when you're trying to move your armies. I got away from that mouse, so I'm sure you'd stay and you'd fight and be braver than me. And really that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. Please let me know in the comments section, and if you have questions please let me know also. And happy goblin hunting! Thanks for watching. Bye.